How long are you going to keep thinking about writing that book? What's stopping you from getting started? Well, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, Francine, how you doing?
Good. How are you today?
Good. I'm stuck in this same window right here where I
Uh-oh,
can't figure
uh-oh,
out how
uh-oh.
to
Well,
here.
that's okay.
There we go.
Everybody,
There we go.
everybody can see the full effect of the sparkle feathers blowing up in my
Oh
office.
yeah, we definitely need to check out that background. That is amazing. So, we're we're going to talk about something today that is, I mean, one of my favorite things to help people with. And it's getting started on that creative project that, well, you've explained it to me earlier, Francine, that feeling that you had when you were thinking about writing your book.
When I first started, I knew nothing about it. I just knew that I wanted to write a book because I was writing a dissertation and I stopped going to school, but I had 168 pages written that I didn't want to waste, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
started thinking about writing a book, but I had no idea. And the funny part about it is I had to go through this whole process because the original book I wanted to write based on my dissertation kind of went on a different, sorry, there's a gnat, kind of went on a different path. I started going down, I want to publish the research for my dissertation. And then I took a turn into needing to make a personal change in my life. So instead of organizational change, which was my original topic, it branched off into personal change. And then I wrote the 6 step process of personal change. And now I really had something I wanted to write about, but I had no idea how to do it. I wish there were people like us doing what we're doing to guide me along the way rather than find the wrong people, waste a bunch of time and money, get frustrated. Then I found the right people, but it could have happened so much easier and so much quicker if I had the right people behind me. And now I'm in the position to help other people. I just realized what the problem is. I need some light.
Oh, I was like, what problem? There's a problem?
There we go. I was wondering why I look so washed out and dull. All right, that looks better now.
Well, I also really relate to this feeling. I mean, it strikes me a lot with different projects, but I mean, I'm even experiencing it a little bit with writing the anthology. And because of this episode, I was thinking a little bit about what's stopping me from writing and finishing it, because this is like half done at this point. So, um, one of the things that I've been telling myself is that I don't have the right time to sit down and do it. Like either um, I have too many distractions going on right now, so I'm not even going to try and start on that. Um, I also have been just like, I just don't want to think about that story right now. That has come up a lot. And for some of you, you might not be writing a lighthearted, easy story that's a ton of fun. It might kind of be therapeutic, like you were talking about, Francine, with the personal change. And while it is very therapeutic, sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like going that deep right now. So I know that there's other people that are out there that are probably thinking some of these same things. So let's cover those two, Francine. When it's not the perfect moment to write, but you know that you've got something coming up, you want to get it done, it's important to you. What do you do?
That when I don't feel like I want to write, that's when it's most important that I do write. Get those feelings of why you don't want to write down on paper. And you could work through those. Sorry, little noise in the kitchen. You could work through those feelings by writing. You don't have to write a perfect paragraph every time you sit down to write. Just get your feelings on the paper. Whether anyone ever sees it or not, it's for your own benefit. I have notebooks and pads of paper full like this of just me writing about feelings, writing about starting stories that may never even get told. And the funny thing is, I might go back to these stories 6 months, 3 years from now and say, ooh, I don't know why I didn't finish this story. And then it's something that feels meaningful then. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to write a story, and it's a hard story to write like Heidi's, or even a lot of my stories were raw and difficult because they were dealing with things that I discovered about myself that weren't always the most flattering things to admit. But I knew that in telling that story, it was going to help other people. So to write them, I had to really dig deep into not only what happened, but then why it happened and how it made me feel while it was happening. And then now that I'm on the other side of it, how it made me feel now that it's over. And then I was able to massage all of that into either a magazine article or another chapter in a book, or, well, our chapter, the struggle from aircraft electrician to children's author, which is my chapter in the anthology. It was a struggle because I don't have kids. And I had to work through all those feelings again about failing at fertility, about not having kids, about having wanted them, about putting up that wall and blocking it, and then becoming afraid of children, and then having to overcome that to write the book and now read the book to kids and promote it. Those were all really hard, raw feelings that I had to work through to be able to tell that story and make it sound sound like it was more than, oh, I decided to be a children's author. Just
Yes.
like Heidi in what she does today didn't just decide that's what she wants to do. She went through this big long process herself to get where she is today. And that's what she's saying is difficult to talk about. So we all have things in our life that are difficult to talk about, but guess what? When you talk about them, when you write about them, even if no one ever reads it, it helps you heal from it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I really liked what you said about, when you sit down, it doesn't have to be good sentence structure. It doesn't have to be a perfect paragraph. I think so far on my chapter, a lot of it has gotten done because I've kind of been treating it a little bit like lyrics. When I write lyrics, like something will pop into my head, it's just a little sentence or it's just an idea for a song. And I'll just jot down a couple things in a notebook, like you were talking about. And that notebook is like the ever growing notebook of ideas I can go to when it's time to write a song. And trying to think about writing this story out in a way that is small enough that I can tackle it, even when I'm not feeling like it. And so, what that comes down to really is building a new habit, and that we're more like our dogs than we like to think about sometimes. We love getting a reward, we love getting a treat. So when things seem really difficult to get started, cut down your expectation of what needs to happen in that period of time. So, if you're finding that you're not sitting down and writing like you'd like to, maybe you've had it on your list that you're going to sit down and write for an hour every day, but you just don't start. Cut that down and let's just make it really small. Let's just say that for 2 minutes, you're going to set a timer for 2 minutes and you are just going to jot down anything that's on your mind right now. Doesn't have to be story related, just needs to be words on a paper until that timer goes off. And something like that, which is so simple, you'd be like, I got 2 minutes. I could sit down and do 2 minutes of this. You'd be surprised how much can come out, and you could start making this a game for yourself too. Oh, I did 2 minutes, points for me. And now I'm done. I'm done. I don't have to do anything until tomorrow. 2 minutes. But what ends up happening with this, I get a reward because I did 2 minutes and you consistently do it every day. Suddenly it's a little easier to turn the 2 minutes into 3 minutes. That 3 minutes becomes 5 minutes.
Or you'll find that you get on a roll and it turns into 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Those are my favorite because all of a sudden I'm like, whew, I got a good chunk of this done today, which is extra, extra rewarding. But some days you're just not going to have that kind of energy, and it's okay. You've got 100 million things going on. So when you're trying to build a new habit, set small expectations for yourself. Like if you're training your new puppy to do tricks, you even if that dog does the smallest teeny tiny thing toward shaking your hand, it just twitches its paw a little bit, you're going to reward that dog so it gets closer and closer to doing the behavior that you want. And you can do that with yourself. Just cut your expectations down a little bit. Now, Francine, what about waiting for the perfect moment or like the perfect environment to sit down and
There's
write? Like,
no such thing.
but what? But no, like when I have the candles going and everything's like all quiet, I got my mood lighting. I
And how
mean,
often is that going to happen? As you could see, I had the perfect setting in my room, and then my husband decided to fix something to eat. So I had to shut the door. It you can't control it. Or I don't know about you, but I live near a fire station and the train track. I could have the perfect setting, and all of a sudden a train will go by, then a ambulance will go by. Oh wait, and I live by the Navy base, so then a helicopter is going to buzz my house. There's no such thing as a perfect moment. Get it while the getting's good. And let me tell you that I want to give a tip. This tip is it's a tip that I gave to my writing class. I teach writing at the senior center, and a bunch of people are writing their memoirs for their children and grandchildren. And they don't know where to start. Some of them don't remember. They're trying to write about their childhood and they don't remember. My tip to them, start going through old photos. And guess what? They start, not only do they start going through the old photos, old memories came up, new stories to write about came up. They were able to organize their thoughts. They took their photos and put it chronologically. So now they said, oh, now this one fits this chapter and this one fits this chapter. And now they have a starting point on what to write. And when I was writing my first book about the 6 step process of personal change, I had to write the difficult parts about how I got in that big mess in the first place, where I was 230 pounds and my liver was shutting down. I went through old photos, and then I saw the bad habits I developed from my family, the bad habits I developed in the military, the bad habits I developed learning how to do Southern cooking, because that's not the healthiest way to eat. But you see where I'm going with this. All these old photos brought back these memories. And then I was able to write a little bit about each photo and then refine these memories into something that an audience would want to read.
Yeah, that's a really good idea because I mean, I remember, well, pretty much any time you go through old photos with people, if you've been in that situation together, hey, remember this happening? It always ends up in some funny story coming up and everybody laughing about it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, so that is a really great idea. I hadn't thought of that one before. What about like, what about just being distracted? What do you ever feel like you just can't like sit down and focus?
But that's okay. If you feel like you can't focus, get up and do something else. Clear your mind. When I can't focus, sometimes I'll just go do some housework. I'll wash up the dishes, maybe do a load of laundry, then I come back and try again.
Hmm.
That kinetic energy of doing something helps get that energy out so you could be more grounded and focused when you come back to
Ah, that's some good advice too, Francine. I like that one. Also gets the dishes done.
it. And sometimes when I'm thinking I have to do this, but oh my gosh, the kitchen's a mess, or there were 100 things I needed to do, but I decided I needed to clean my backdrop and I needed to display sparkle feathers. So I took the time today to do that first. And then when I sat down to do the stuff, it feels like the energy is moving better in my office now because I got this done. I even vacuumed the carpet. It's a beautiful thing. I've been
Yes.
so focused on everything, building the website and everything it took to get these sparkle feathers dolls for the past 18 months, and the writing the books and the marketing the books, that honestly I couldn't find anything, and I just kept covering everything, and I had that big old sheet across the room and hiding stuff behind it. It just it feels like a breath of fresh air, literally, now that I've got this done, and the ideas are flowing so much easier now.
I definitely find that just picking up my space sometimes, like if I'm feeling really restless, can't sit at my desk, like there's just some random stuff laying around my desk, even just doing something little like that can help. And I was also thinking about how often it is for me that just because I left the writing area with the pen and the paper doesn't mean that my brain has necessarily stopped the writing process. So it's very often where I'll walk away and do something else. And all of a sudden, I'll have this great aha moment and be
Mhm.
running back to my desk to quick write it down, or I'll have my phone nearby and just quick jot a note. And that idea is the best one that I've come up with yet. And I'm not sitting there basically hitting my head against the desk trying to like get the story to come out. It feels much easier to just get up, go do something else. It's still working in here. It still is. You can still let it kind of simmer in the pot. it's much easier for that idea to just pop in when you let it instead of force it.
Exactly. Be in the flow because nothing happens when you force it. I get some of my best ideas in the shower.
Oh, yeah. The shower is just a great place. It really is. That and my
Hey,
bed.
isn't that where you? Hey, your chapter starts in the shower.
It does. You know, when you can't be in a tropical island, just jump in the shower and turn it on hot.
That's it. That's it.
Close your eyes and pretend.
Well, I would love for anyone watching now or anyone who's watching our replay, let us know how you tackle your not writer's block, how you tackle the I know I need to get it done, but I don't know where to start. How do you approach some of these subjects that Heidi and I have been talking about for almost 20 minutes now?
Yeah, and I brought up some of mine, but Francine, for you, like what gets you stuck sometimes? Like, do you have anything that you're still kind of this comes up and I just don't want to. I'm just not going to. Do you get the stubbornness ever with yourself? The little
Yes,
kids like, I'm not gonna. No.
there are some subjects that I will not write about because they can embarrass or offend somebody else if they were to read it. So when I get to those type subjects, there's that net again. When I get to those type subjects, well, thank you. You just whooshed it away from me. When I get to those type subjects, I might walk away and then come back and try to read it and put myself in the other person's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wrote this about me, how would I feel? So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if it's my mental block in writing, I'll come back at it and say, okay, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's who I'm writing about or someone else close to that subject who
Mm-hmm.
might not feel comfortable reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no other way for me to say that without being specific and calling people out. So that is my biggest dilemma is making sure that I treat other people the way I want to be treated. So I'm fair game. I'll write about myself all day long. But if it's my story that involves somebody else, I'm going to try to make sure that it's not going to offend them, it's not going to embarrass them, and it's not going to reveal anything about them that they don't want revealed.
Interesting. That makes sense. And I think it's always good to kind of um, take on that different perspective when you're doing a reread of your story and how it's told. Um, Regardless if there's like another person in the story or not. I just think the perspective is so really important um, from the very beginning of the telling of the story.
Well, and that's why when I rewrote my first book into the second book, it was basically the same theme, the same topic, the same subject matter, the 6 step process of personal change. But I set it in a fairy tale. And the characters in the fairy tale aren't any specific character. they're several characters combined to make a point. Some of them are me, some of them are other people, some of them are aspects of two or three different people. But that's the way I told the story, so I could tell all of these little touchy subjects where nobody could say, oh, she wrote that about me and get offended. No, that's just a fictitious story in Tranquil Haven that doesn't exist, that came out of my mind. But okay, maybe a client had a similar situation. Okay, maybe she wasn't in finance, she was in some other field. But I wrote about finance, so you don't know who she is.
Yes. I mean, you see that a lot with stories or whatever. Names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yes, yes. Well, and one Lola is basically Lola in the book is chubby and dances and is afraid to dance because she's chubby and doesn't want to be embarrassed. Well, that was me when, and I named her Lola, which is actually my old dog's name, but and Lola was a big fat dog. So there's some truth to it, but she's my dog. I can talk about her being fat. She's my dog, and it's really a lot about me.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Francine, sometimes it's difficult to get some outside perspective on your story.
Oh, I love talking.
So, we do something called a portal party to help people with this. Do you want to tell them a little bit more about the portal parties?
Yes, a portal party takes you from confused, like I have this written down, but there's just something not right about it, or I'm stuck. I've written two sentences and I don't know where to go next. Or I'm just gonna quit, like Sue said. I'm done. Somebody gave me negative feedback. I'm done. Well, you take that and you walk through the portal in a feedback session, in a brainstorming session with other people, and then you come out on the other side with clarity and the feeling like you've accomplished something. Because once you get that feeling, the feeling and the other end of the portal, that's when you could get in the flow.
Yeah.
And that's why we call them the portal parties. Not porta party, but portal party. And you could schedule your own. We don't have them on any particular day of the week or time of the day. When can you make it? We'll sync up your schedule, my schedule. We'll invite all our friends. You invite your friends. We'll get together and we'll all talk about whatever creative projects we're working on, and we'll brainstorm new ideas. I just love telling Sue's story. Sue was the author who told me I quit. I'm not going to write this book anymore. I'm done. Sue, come to a portal party. Well, Sue and Heidi showed up and we started talking about it. And you could just watch Sue from, I'm done. I got negative feedback. I can't do this. And then closer she got to that door, her whole demeanor changed. And then on the other side of that door, after only an hour, she went and wrote her book. 2 hours later, Heidi and I got a message. It's done.
It is a pretty incredible story. And I love seeing that aha like spark. It's
Yes.
like it's very noticeable. Like kind of sit up a little straighter and like your eyes are all sparkly. So if you want to experience this for yourself, reach out to us or maybe you're someone who wants to contribute and give feedback to authors. So, the website you've seen scrolling along the bottom, if you visit that, right up at the top, you're going to learn all about our upcoming anthology project. That's another great way for you to get started. You can join that. Scroll down a little bit further, and you can sign up to have access to our calendar, where you're going to see all of our upcoming portal parties as they get scheduled, and you can add them to your calendar and be reminded. I hope you heard all that. A plane flew over. Speaking
Yes,
of things
yes,
not being
yes, I
perfect.
heard that, and I am ready to schedule some more portal parties.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, time flies when you're having fun. 30
Yes, it
minutes
does.
gone like that.
I really hope that you've made it to the end of this video and got some solid tips to help you, whether you're writing an article for a magazine, whether you're writing a song, whether you're writing ad copy. It's all writing and it's all part of the process.
Yes. So, if you can conceive it, you can believe it, and you can achieve it.
From the head to the heart to the hands.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
can.
can. Yeah.
All right, y'all. See